turned in, I graded 5 problems. So I want to talk about those 5 problems. And I really want to emphasize, please, 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 if at all possible, Google it, hunt for it, how to convert your pictures to PDFs when you upload them. I gave you the information what you could do on an iPhone. If you have an Android, all that information, I kind of Googled it, and there's a ton of apps that will do that. See if you can come up with a way, because if you can, I can write directly on your papers and you can see the comments. It is so much better for your education if you can figure out how to do that. So keep working at it. Call each other, share with your friends if you know how to do it, ask your friends if they do, figure it out, please. I mean, I can still grade otherwise, but I do not have time to make comments on, I have to go through so much to try and convert the files. I know it's frustrating for all of us, but it's a massive amount of time is just kind of overwhelming. So I picked out 5 problems. I want to talk about them. Everybody knows how to do cosine 37. However, I will bring up one thing. Some of you did not get that answer and it said to round to 5 decimal places. Check the mode, make sure you are in degrees. So you want to do that. Now, some people had trouble with this one. For cosecant 48 degrees, there is no cosecant button. You have to do 1 over sine 48 degrees to get this. So you could do it just as 1 divided by sine 48. You can set it up as a fraction. I think I had shown you on one of the other videos, 1.34563, that you could also calculate sine 48 and then use the x to the minus 1 key. That flips it over. Number 16, on this one, notice that this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Remember the relationships of the sides. 1, 1, square root of 2. So if this side is 12, that means this side is 12, and that means this side is 12 root 2. No trig needed. If you are going to use a trig function, you would have, let's say we did sine of 45 degrees equals 12 over x, if you did it that way. Then you have to know, because if you plug it into your calculator, you're going to get a decimal approximation. So you have to remember and watch for those special angles, which is why you were supposed to learn them. You've got to watch for that, because anytime you are involving a trig function of a 30 degree, a 45 degree, or a 60 degree angle, you need to use exact values. So watch for that. It will happen again. Number 20. When you set this up, I believe you were just asked to solve for x. I think we did fine on this one. So if you opposite over hypotenuse, so we're going to do sine 53 degrees equals 25 over x. If you reorganize this, you get x equals 25 over sine 53. Now, some of you left your answer like that, and yeah, that's an exact value. But when this is not, this isn't a special value, it's not a special trig function or special angle, so you're just going to do 25 divided by sine 53, and we get 31 point, I think this also said to go 5 places, which was crazy, I thought. But anyway, that's what we had. This one, you are asked to find the other trig functions. So you want to start by drawing a triangle, and most of you did. Actually, this one wasn't bad. We didn't do bad on this, but there's one thing I want to point out that is a big deal. So if this is 12 and 13, using Pythagorean theorem, you can figure out this is 5. It worked out nicely. Sometimes it ends up being a square root, and you saw something like that. So then we have sine theta equals 5/13. I'm going to repeat this so I have everything else. Tangent theta equals 5/12. Cosecant, you got to make sure you're using the right one, 13/5. Secant theta is 12/13. I'm sorry, 13/12. And cotangent theta equals 12/5. Okay, here's the big deal. Important. You cannot just say sine equals 5/13. That would be like saying the square root equals 8. I mean, you got to have something inside here. You'd have to put the square root of 64 equals 8. You wouldn't just have the function without something inside of it. You can't just have sine with nothing inside of it. It's the same idea. You've got to put the angle that you're talking about. And on this last one, you were asked to solve. That means you find all the missing pieces. There is a missing angle, which is going to be 15 degrees because these two add up to 90. Then you're going to find the two sides. So it doesn't matter really where you start with. I'm going to start with sine 75 degrees equals 100 over, I'll call this y, I'll call this x. And then you would just get y equals 100 over sine 75. And then if you do, and you would work that out. I'll leave that for you. You can do that part. And then for the other one, if you did, let's see if we did, and you could use the 15 as well as if you wanted to. Now we want to involve the x. So I'll say cosine 75 degrees. No, I won't. Let's say, opposite over, so let's say tangent 75 degrees equals opposite over adjacent. So then we get x equals 100 over tangent 75. And again, I'll leave you to find that out, but don't leave them like that. Actually, go ahead and get a decimal approximation on those. Okay,